You are not the only one, China.
It is going to be very prosperous in forthcoming years.
We cannot play one-side game.
So it's just saying in paper?
We can use each other's market in
It is going to be very prosperous in
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the E-Talk. At this show, we discuss about 5 E's: Earth, Environment, Energy, Economy, and Education. To discuss this topic at length, today I am pleased to be joined by my 3 guests. On my right is Alma from Nicaragua, and she is a business expert. On my left is Valerie from Russia. She is an international relations expert, and on my far left is Mujtaba from Afghanistan, and he is a trade analyst. Today's topic under deliberation is extremely important. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the Indo Pacific Economic Framework, and let's not forget that Indo Pacific region accounts for 60% of global economy, which is half of the world's trade, and it is estimated that for the next 30 years it will have economic dividends shared by the entire world.
Asia-Pacific region accounts for over 60% of global economy and nearly half of trade, and is expected to become the largest contributor to global economic growth in the next 30 years. However, 14 participating countries of the Indo Pacific Economic Framework have agreed to improve supply chain resilience for basic items such as chips and key minerals, in order to reduce dependence on China. The Financial Times pointed out that the US-led IPEF is just a mere window dressing. Tokyo-based Modern Weekly said that IPEF has failed to achieve trade liberalization, and more countries are breaking away from US-led encirclement of China.
What is your understanding about Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, and is your country on board?
Well, I understand that Indo Pacific Economic Framework is a not traditional agreement. It's led by the United States and cover many economies in Asia. But I think it's not traditional because the first purpose in a trade agreement is make easy the export and imports products between the countries that participate. But in this case, United States is also taking the sector that is interesting for her nation and not taking into account the benefits that could be taken for the other economies.
If we really take a deeper look into the way things are handled out right now, we can see that US is basically interfering into the economy of other states without providing them an enter to the US market. So it's like one gate play, and it's really hard to tell whether it will be successful in the future, but we'll see. And Russia is not on board, but Russia is a part of APEC, which is another a union of Pacific countries.
First of all, as you mentioned, Afghanistan was on the board. We haven't signed any agreement about this project, but I would say I'm a bit optimistic. Let's just put it this way: any project, any program, any agreement, when in nature, when it's open, when it's inclusive, and it's good for all the parties, so it's going to be good for the future of this region. But if we go to the reality we see in the paper, so this agreement, this program, in reality they don't have the basic pillars, which we mentioned, that it's the free trade, tariffs, supply chain. In order to have a better cooperation, so we need to give and get something. We cannot play one-side game. It should be a win-win project for both sides.
Beyond the boundaries, miles away from the US, but US is more interested in this region. What is the outcome? What is the real benefit they can offer to the countries first, and what is the real objective?
I think that the real objective from the United States is geopolitical control from this economy and make counterbalance to China's project. And the only thing that the United States can offer in this field is a military power, but that was in the past. You are not the only one, China. But it's not a strong project. So it's just saying in paper, sounds good. You can put in the paper whatever you want, but in the practice, it's different.
Okay.
As I see it, I believe that there is an economic war between US and China, and this is just their step to enlarge its influence in this region, because it is going to be very prosperous in forthcoming years. And I do believe that US is trying to take a very aggressive first steps against China and also Russia. And I also believe that we have in this region another initiative, BRI, and I believe it is way better because it is a win-win game, and it has been going on for some years already, and it has shown results.
How do you see this? What is the recipe of success? Because we have seen that Belt and Road Initiative, RCEP, have been going great guns. They're being very successful. What is the reason for that? And how IPEF will compete with BRI and RCEP? And what are the major differences or similarities you see in these projects?
The similarity is that they couch a huge percent of the population in the world. RCP have 30% of the population. And the other things is agreement, is a trade agreement, but it's different in the practice and also in the paper project, because RCP take counts tariff, make easy the trade between the economies that's involved in the group.
Why the Belt and Road Initiative and other projects in Asia and Asia Pacific is successful? Because it's open, it's exclusive, and it's a win-win situation for everybody. Exactly. So what China tried to offer through Belt and Road initiatives, it's a cooperation between countries in order to get access to each other and take the advantage, because we can learn from each other's experience. So China already doing it very successfully, because there is no way that I would say that Indo Pacific Economic Framework would counter, because Belt and Road Initiative is signed with 100 countries, more than that. United States has a lot to offer. We can learn a lot from them. We cannot ignore this. But when it comes to the Indo Pacific Agreement itself, so I would say countries go play it smart, try to get something. But in reality, if we see the paper, the agreements, so far, there is nothing in reality for us, for the Pacific countries, to get from this project.
To conclude the discussion, any economic framework, any economic objective, or any other economic initiative has to be for the benefit, because at the moment the economic structure of the world is dwindling. So any kind of a project which has geopolitical strings attached with it will not bring any desired fruits for the region, and it will have its negative implications on the whole economic structure. Thank you.